Okay, ladies and gents, welcome to yet another video by the People's Champion. Now, most of you will know me from Dauntless, but I've just started Dark Alliance, and I'm here to teach you what to do as a beginner. Alright, now you'll be able to hear the game sounds. So, you've literally just finished your awesome work as a beginner. Hang on, wait, the sound's going to cut out again, only because I'm going to shift this to the other side. Shift your damn thing. There we go. Easier. Okay, so now you've just finished your first mission as Drizzt, or whoever your character is. Obviously, first thing you'll do is open the reward chest. Now, you get your loot after every mission, right? So always the first thing you want to do, go get your loot, and then
Saw a troll the other day.
go to your equipment, start equipping your character. Okay, what you want to look out for is the stats at the bottom that'll help you decide what the fuck to actually equip. Now you can see what goes worse and better up here. Now there's going to be other factors that change this, but for now, this is a good start. Always the higher it's usually better, but if you can match sets, that can be really good. For example, the Warden of Melki Chest Guard, if you get 3 pieces, you get 0.5% hit point regeneration. In a game like this, that's helpful because there's no healing. Okay, let's be honest about that. Now, I've got a stamina cost reduction because apparently I've got 4 pieces of the Tundra Raptor set going. I can have more attack going with this thing, so I'd have more elemental resistance with this, but again, keeping your item sets, like, you don't want to immediately throw away things that you think or you perceive that you don't need. Simple reason is, if you do that, you may not be able to complete sets, okay? Now, what is the next thing you'll do? Immediately after equipping your gear, alright, point number two, you go straight to your character sheet. You should have gotten an attribute point. This is where you can start adding things. Alright, Dex obviously would add to your critical rate, but what you want to do is you want to check it out. If I were to increase this, how does this increase my damage, right? If I were to increase strength, how does that increase my constitution, armor, and things like that? And of course, constitution, it would change a variety of things. Now, Drizzt does not need a lot of stamina, so usually I'll just go with something like strength. Most characters, I usually raise strength first because obviously physical damage is good, but you will notice that you're also getting more armor, which is more defense, some additional hit points as well. So it doesn't mean that strength, like, what's unique about this game is that strength doesn't just automatically mean that, oh yes, I'm going to immediately only have hit points. Something like that, you know? Sorry, it doesn't mean that I'm only going to have physical damage. It means that, as you increase different stats, you need to see how they play off each other and how they really affect you, and you can do that by showing details. Alright, this is basically your guide, because this so-called combat power, alright, increases if you see this thing increase. Alright, so you gotta be a bit careful with what you're increasing and what you're adding. This is your overall combat strength, by the way. This 1275. It determines what challenges you can take on, things like that. Okay, next. Moves are very important. You want to pick up your first move. Now, your first move should not have something called stamina destruction. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Stamina destruction. Shit. Have to remove my cam so you can see better. Okay, as a beginner, right, you don't want to choose moves with stamina destruction because all special attacks have a potential to sap your stamina. But you want to try and choose moves that minimize this. Now, sadly, your opening moves pretty much don't really give you much options, but thankfully, this one works better. Like, because this one has a heal, so I'd actually go for this pathway first. But it's up to you which one you want to choose. This one seems to be like the light attack combos. This one seems to be the heavy attack combos. So I probably take this one first. Okay. After that, at certain levels, you will get feats. Where do you want to spend feats? It's up to you. I usually go for the defensive pathway first. You can choose the offensive pathway if you want, but for Drist, I'll probably go with the defensive pathway because elemental resistance, honestly, helpful in most things. Okay, so now you've assigned your equipment, your moves, and your feats. Alright, you don't want to overspend on this. Like, you could also get Gloom Splash if you wanted to, but there's a reason why you only pick one move. Because depending on how much gold you earn, if it wasn't that much, right? The next thing you want to do is you want to talk to the merchant, and you need to have at least 750 gold. Why? Unlock a stamina potion. They're not great at first, but they're helpful. If you get into trouble, alright, this is one of the first things you would go to, your stamina potions. Now, level 1, they suck goat balls, kind of. So, you want to at least get it to level 2. Okay? It'll restore 20% stamina. Now, what do you do with your leftover points? Okay, your gold is now about 950 down here. I know you can't see it, but you've just spent on your moves, feats, stamina, potions, your consumables, and you can upgrade your consumables along the way, so no issue on there. What I'll do is I'll turn my cam back on. And now, before you go into your next battle, upgrade your gear. Okay, you cannot upgrade everything. That's obvious. But certain things can be upgraded. Like you see these epic pants. They would be one of the first things that I upgrade. So I've got 3 epic crystals down here. You can see whichever epic crystals. Now you could deconstruct the legendary into the epic, but it would cost gold as well. So just be careful on how you spend. I would raise this first. The highest rarity, like epic or rare, that you can raise, I would raise that first. Next, this Tundra Raptor thing. Okay. It's going to cost me 200 gold and 7 green crystals. I have that. I would just upgrade it. Why? You just get a little more armor from it. Same with the cloak. I would probably hit this as well. And that is how you effectively spend all of your early game gold. Alright, and now you're ready for your next mission. Now, I'm going to teach you guys a few more tips and tricks in the actual mission itself. So we're going to go in now to Halls of Duergar. Now, although your party combat power is above the 1-250, please do not go into this, okay? Please go into the first ranked one. I mean, okay, when I did it with my wife, obviously I did it at the next combat level, but you don't want to do that because if you do, you are going to fuck yourself over. The second boss in this thing is not by any means easy. He is a heavy creature, a troll. Okay, and he hits fucking hard. So unless you're in a party, do not even try that shit. You would just die off. Now, there is one good thing, though. If you do encounter a game bug where you have to die off and return to camp or whatever, and then you succeed on another run, you still get to keep some of the loot that you got through that progression. Or at least I found out that to be the case, because we had disconnections and glitches twice and we had to return to camp. On the third run, me and my wife got all the loot from the previous 2 runs. Minus the ending completion loot, and we got all the loot from the third run as well, so don't fear too much, but at the same time, don't take stupid risks. Okay, here we are.
Goblins invade the valley and Duergar the halls. The dwarves won't be able to return to their home until all threats are dealt with.
Okay. Now, in the game itself, now you're going to start encountering traps. You don't have to panic too much about them, but try not to be stupid with them. Okay, most cases you can survive a pattern or look out for something like that. I do not bother. And the only reason I do not bother is... Whoa, sorry. Do we see that? Yeah. Sometimes you have to really explore, otherwise you'll miss secondary objectives. Excuse the sniffles. I am suffering from allergies. Okay. Pairing is your friend. Now another cool thing is that you don't actually have to lock onto a target if you don't want to. I choose not to most of the time because I just prefer combat that way.
You'll find no prey here.
And a lot of attacks can be blocked, so, you know, don't sweat too much on that. Now, I usually take potions before opening chests because chests can give you consumables back. Alright, it's random though, don't rely on it. Which is another important tip. Chests can give you consumables. So, when you plan and play your game, right, you don't always have to camp and rest. You can just get it back that way, which is quite helpful. But just don't rely on it. If you're relying on it, you're already in a bad situation. Here we go. Now you've gotten the lever. Make sure to keep collecting the lore and all that other shenanigans. Alright. Got what you needed. Lever down. Now many of you already know the basic tips of parry and things like that. Or maybe you didn't do it in your first mission. That's okay. You'll find that as you go along, right, you're going to need to do it a lot more. And also your range attack, well obviously you shouldn't be using it to attack, but it can be pretty helpful. Like usually I'll use it to do something like this. Like if I know that I've got stuff that I can destroy along the way, that's where I'll do it. This is interesting, but at the same time it doesn't mean that, you know, you can just use it willy-nilly. Okay, when facing multiple opponents, the important thing is take out the rangers first, usually. That's what I do. Now, you won't always succeed at parrying, but that's okay. If you can't fully parry, blocking is also okay. Knowing your attack combos is very useful. Also, knowing when you can shift from attack to defense is also very important. As you can see, there were some situations in there where I couldn't really do anything. Also, you will get crystals of stamina and health along the way, so don't panic too much, is what I would say. Also, don't step in poison. Poison is bad for you. Right? But you can clear poison, which is a very important tip, by destroying these barrels, so if something explodes near the poison, it'll be cleared. Okay? Watch. Boom. No more poison. Okay? I'm just gonna let that short rest expire, because it's all good. I don't need one. But I think, whoa, you've only got one health potion. Don't you actually need one? No. Now you get stamina potions and other things, but Dritz doesn't really suffer from that. Other characters might. Just remember that you can restore your shit, so don't panic, okay? If you ever need to, just take a short rest. You don't have to go hardcore mode. Like, it does give you more loot, but, I mean, again, it's really up to you. Alright? Now, there's one very important thing that I'm going to teach you in the next one. That is to always explore the side paths. Because that's how you complete the secondary objectives and get everything done. It's like lots of the Duergar supplies are here. Okay? It's literally the last tip that I have for you guys. For beginners, you just want to basically explore every pathway. And I've taught you how to upgrade your characters and what to do, what process to take after every mission. So you guys should basically be fine on that. There's nothing wrong with blocking, by the way. Sometimes you just should block. And that's okay. Wait for your enemies to run out of stamina. That's absolutely fine. These Duergar, they have a lot of range attacks and things like that. You can just block that. So a lot of the time you can actually get by blocking. If it's a melee attack where you can clearly see it, parry. That'll restore your stamina. Alright? Nothing wrong with blocking. Please, please block. Okay? Do not go in and go ham all the time without blocking. Okay? And once again, as you can see, we just completed the Grey Stalker secondary, so make sure you always doing the secondaries, opening chests. It can save you a lot of trouble of having to restore health, things like that. You know, and run around and panic about all these kinds of things. I just usually do that, and basically you're all good. A lot of the time, combat can be literally resolved just by, you know, whacking things. Now, is the second difficulty level much harder? Yes, especially if you go right in. So please, just because something has been unlocked doesn't mean you should immediately do it. All right. Also, some characters may cost stamina. May require stamina to do their range attacks. Driz does as well, but his is not as terrifyingly terrible. His stamina consumption is a lot lighter than, say, Wolfgar. Cadibri doesn't, if I'm not wrong. And, what's his face? Brunor does. He destroys a lot of stamina by doing range attacks, so please be careful with that. What I really wanted to show was one of these chests restoring my consumables, but no luck. Sometimes you're at the mercy of RNG, so also don't panic if you don't get consumables, but you can just take a short rest at the next camp. Yes, it might mean slightly less loot for you, but again, that's not a problem, okay? So those are all the beginner tips and tricks that I can teach you for getting started in this game. It's basically how to really get into the game. Upgrade all your shit after every mission when we go into each mission. Explore all the side pathways, everything. Learn how to parry, learn your attack combos. And basically, you don't have to take short rests all the time, okay? And learn to block. Cannot stress enough how important the block button is, okay? It's very useful. All right, thank you so much for watching this little beginner guide to Dark Alliance. We hope you have fun on your solo adventures. I'll probably be doing more guides like this eventually, but thank you for listening to me. Hope you have fun, and I'll see you on Dark Alliance, okay? People's Champion is out. Like, share, subscribe, and if you want to support my content even more, you can drop a tip via the tip link in the description of the video. See you on the next one, folks.